What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Advice. I am feeling good about Regulation D. I love the new mons. I think the meta is going to progress in a great way, and I've built 3 teams for it already. So, y'all saw the Urshifu, Regieleki, Hisuian Zoroark team. I got one with the fan favorite, that boy Chip, the Umbreon, coming back. And in this video, I got a stellar team with Hisuian Goodra and Sneezler. So we'll jump into a couple battles here, and I'm going to cycle through these teams over the next few weeks until Regulation D drops. So I really wanted to use Sneasler and Hisuian Goodra, and Rillaboom really helps both of them. Grassy Seed Unburden activates with Grassy Terrain, and then the extra healing with Grassy Terrain for Viscogon is really nice. So this opponent has a lot of mons that crumble to close combat, and then Viscogon with some shelter boost could be really nice. And then I could get taunts off with Raiden, but I think I just want the power of Cervantes. Could be really nice to break through the Corviknight and absorb damage from the Heatran. So we'll lock this in. I just really want to use these mons. Yeah, I think Dire Claw is a really cool move. This is a bulky Sneezler set. It's got a lot of special defense and then a decent amount of defense paired with the Grassy Seed to boost that, and it's a bulk up Sneezler. So we got a Dire Claw, close combat, protect, bulk up, and I can play it patiently using fake out from Rillaboom and bulk up to get things off. But I'm worried about this person setting up their Hisuian Goodra too. So I just want to hit it hard. I want to hit it fast. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fake out Corv and just close combat into Goodra. Force a Terra on him. I like that. So, it doesn't look like they Terra or Protect. We do see Rocky Helmet. Rillaboom, we get the one-hit KO. That's great. Rillaboom's really good because, in a new meta where you don't know what speed tiers people are running, it's nice to be able to see everyone's speed with the Grassy Terrain. So if you get a little chip damage on everybody, which is what Thunderous is really helpful with, that spread damage. It's not going to take KOs, but it's got the chance to paralyze and adjust speed tiers with paralysis. And then you can use Grassy Terrain to scope out who's faster than who. So he brings in Heatran, so I'm going to switch in Cervantes for Rilla. We got Flash Fire to take a Heat Wave, and I want to just close combat. If they let me take another KO on Heatran, that's awesome. And if they Terra or Protect, we get Bubba 3 out of that hoe. And if we're lucky enough, we may get a Flash Fire proc and get that boosted Bitter Blade damage coming in. Let's get Cervantes in here. He just eats a close combat, and we take 2 KOs in 2 turns with Sneasler. And that's after the Gooey dropped our speed. So Unburdened speed is really nice. I mean, those obviously weren't super fast Pokemon, but just the fact that we still outspeed after a speed boost is nice. And Cervantes takes the Brave Bird. We get healing. That's another thing that Rillaboom is really great for my playstyle. I like to make switches defensively, and having bulky mons that can come in, tank hits, and then get recovery back is amazing. And they got another Pokemon that just folds to close combat. So I could go Terra Fire here to not take a Sucker Punch, but I think I'd like to just play it slow and Protect. I could bulk up, but if they Kowtow Cleave, I think I probably still go down. So we'll just Protect and close combat King Gambit. They don't Terra again. Okay, they do go for a Sucker Punch. Here's another close combat. And they are Focus Sash, so they will survive, but I mean, they're down bad right now. Sneasler just came in and OHKO'd everyone. And they do finally recognize the threat. Sneasler's gone, but well done, soldier. Okay, so they haven't set up a Tailwind or anything crazy like that. We're in pretty good position. I can bring Rillaboom back in to fake out King Gambit. And go for a bulk up. I like that. Okay, they Brave Bird Rillaboom, but we're pretty tanky. Yeah, we survived that. You love to see it. So, with the bulk up, we should have them in range of Shadow Sneak. And I'll just knock off Corviknight's Rocky Helmet. But, yeah, bulk up's really nice for that. I figure, you know, it was worth going for the bulk up just in case they double protected. And we take the Brave Bird easy after the bulk up, so that should be it. They do survive knockoff, but that's cool. No more Rocky Helmet, and they cannot beat Cerulege. So you can see, I mean, the immediate speed from the Grassy Seed Unburden was really nice to just pick up KOs. And we can bring in Viscogon for a little cameo and make sure we don't lose Rillaboom for any speed tie circumstances or anything like that. No speed tie, we're faster. Bop. Corviknight goes down. Sneasler did his thing. Cerulege did his thing. Good game to my opponent. And so when I built this team, my thought was that, you know, like I said, I could use fake outs and bulk ups to make Sneasler bulky. But, I mean, when you see KOs like that, you might as well try to take them. Okay, awesome. PJ's got Cresselia, Ursaluna. I really wanted to see if this team could stand up to the Ursaluna build, so this is great for us. I'm going to lead Rillaboom for fake out, and I think I'd like to try to get a taunt off. Cervantes in the back deals with Torkoal, and then Hisuian Goodra can be really good if we can get some shelter boosts. So if you don't know, shelter is the new move. It's basically the same thing as acid armor, iron defense. Hisuian Goodra is able to use acid armor, which has more PP, but you have to have it as a pre-evolution move, you know, from a Gumi. And I got this in a trade as a fully evolved Goodra, so I was not able to use acid armor, but I mean, how many times am I going to need to click iron defense before I can win? So Goodra has a few good abilities, Sap Sipper being one of them, but I have Cerulege and Rillaboom to help out with grass types, so I thought that having shell armor would be really nice to prevent myself from getting crit after setting up all my boosts. So I am going to just fake out Cresselia here, and I'll go Terra Ghost Taunt just in case their Iron Hands is fast. It could either fake out Rillaboom and then have Mental Herb for the taunt, or I could fake out their Cresselia and they could fake out my Thundurus, so this will prevent that. Mental Herb is the most common item on Cresselia, so pairing fake out with taunt will allow me to taunt it the next turn. We do get the fake out off, and they just fake out Rillaboom. That's cool. So we see that we're faster than Iron Hands. We do get a taunt off, and they are Mental Herb, so they may switch out Cresselia now, knowing that I have the taunt, but I'm not gonna make any predictions. I think I just go for the knockoff and go for another taunt, and if they switch in Ursaluna here, then we knock off their Flame Orb. I'm not really worried about Iron Hands with either of these Pokemon. And being a ghost type now, Thundurus actually gets terrain recovery on top of having Citrus Berry and being pretty bulky, so that's helpful. I don't really need Thundurus in this match besides taunting the Cresselia, so. Okay, they have Protect on Cresselia. I don't think that's something you'll see very often. There's a lot of moves that Cresselia wants to run, like Lunar Blessing, Helping Hand, Trick Room, and an attack, so. Ally Switch is another one that Cresselia gets that you should be aware of and watch out for. And they just Volt Switch. We take basically nothing with that, so. Even though we haven't gotten a lot done, we got rid of their Mental Herb. And we've thrown off their rhythm, you know, what they're trying to do. And that's a big thing with Trick Room teams. If you can just throw off their rhythm and not let them get their easy setup, a lot of times they fold because a lot of Trick Room players, you know, not all, there are some really talented Trick Room players, but a lot of them, you know, are just really formulaic. And if you get them off their formula, they can't do anything. So we're going to just knock off and Wild Bolt Storm. And if we can get some paralysis, make it even more uncomfortable for them, that'd be awesome. So I don't usually like low accuracy moves. We do miss Moltres there, but that's okay. They have Berserk, so if we activated Berserk, we'd have been in big trouble. Not big trouble, but yeah, see, we definitely wouldn't have survived that if Berserk activated, so. In turn, we get our Citrus Berry. We get to keep Thundurus for another turn. There's the knockoff. And they do get Trick Room up, but now they've got Fast Moltres in front of Rillaboom. So, I want to just Woodhammer Cresselia and switch into Viscogon. Viscogon's got really good special defense, so we shouldn't take very much from a Fiery Wrath, and saving Thundurus Ghost type as a switch in for a Facade could be really nice. They just protect Cresselia, that's cool. They're stalling out their own Trick Room. And they just go for another Fiery Wrath. And we don't take very much at all with Goodra's natural special defense and Rillaboom's Assault Vest, so. That's 2 turns of Trick Room down, 3 to get through, but you know, right now I'd say I'm taking advantage of the Trick Room more than they are, so I'm gonna just U-turn off of Cresselia and go for a Shelter. Start getting myself set up for the Ursaluna that's likely in the back, as well as the Iron Hands. So I do usually really like offensive setup Pokemon, but I'm not big into defensive setup Pokemon because I feel like you spend a lot of time getting yourself tanky just to get crit. But when I saw that Goodra had Shell Armor, I was all for it. You know, Iron Defense Pokemon are really tough to get through. And if you can ensure that you can't get crit, basically the only way to beat it if your opponent has strong physical attackers only is Haze. And, you know, it's pretty easy to recognize which Pokemon tend to run Haze and whatnot. So they switch in Iron Hands. They've got 2 turns of Trick Room left. We get off this Shelter boost. We'll just switch in Raiden to get a free switch back into Rillaboom if they go for another Fiery Wrath. And then we'll have Fake Out active again next turn. Okay, they Air Slash. It does take us out. Perfect. So we can immediately get back into Rillaboom, and I want to say that that was the last turn of Grassy Terrain as well. Yeah, because they didn't set Trick Room until turn 3. There's 2 more turns of Trick Room. Yep, there goes Grassy Terrain, so perfect timing to get Rillaboom back in. And I'm just going to fake out Iron Hands and go for another Shelter boost. I feel like they don't want to waste time faking out right now because they want to just hit Goodra before I start setting up more. So yeah, our fake out went first, so they likely were just attacking. We're +4 now. We tank an Air Slash, super effective. And Rillaboom's still in here causing havoc for the last turn of Trick Room, so I think I can just U-turn off of Moltres. And let's see how much a Body Press does to it. I would like to get up to +6 before Ursaluna comes in, but yeah, I'm happy to just go for this Body Press to kind of threaten them with some damage. They Volt Switch, and that's a good Volt Switch to bring Cresselia in. on the last turn of Trick Room. They might be worried about Woodhammer though. Yeah, they switch in Ursaluna. We get off a U-turn. And I guess we'll bring in Cervantes. Okay, Body Press doesn't pick up the KO. We do activate their Berserk, so we gotta be careful of that. And they go for the Fiery Wrath this time. But we tank the +1 Fiery Wrath. Let's go, them EVs. You love to see it. Okay. They're gonna get their Flame Orb activated. Twisted Dimensions are gone. I want to just protect. And I think it's worth getting up another Shelter. But getting rid of Moltres could also be really nice here. I think it's actually more important to get rid of Moltres. I don't know if Ice Beam KOs. Moltres got a lot of special defense. I'll just Body Press it. Okay, they go for a Sucker Punch. Perfect. That's the second time we've dodged a good Sucker Punch with Cervantes. Moltres goes down. And they go for an Earthquake, but we're +4 and there's grassy terrain, so they shouldn't do very much. If you don't know, grassy terrain halves the damage of Earthquake. Yeah, we take that really well. I guess I understand them using Earthquake when they have Moltres and Levitate Cresselia. It's just, I don't know if that's the best set, because Rillaboom's going to be really common in this meta, I believe. Even without Grassy Glide, it's just such a good pivot fake out Pokemon. Woodhammer does crazy damage without much investment. So who do they bring in? Do they bring in the fake out or do they bring in the Trick Room setter? One thing I didn't do, because, you know, I made this Goodra spread before I built this team, put this team together, and decided on Rillaboom, or even leftovers, actually. So my HP stat is 175, but to optimize leftovers and grassy terrain recovery, that should be 176. So I will change that after this game, but I'm just going to Bitter Blade the Iron Hands. And we just Body Press Iron Hands as well. I want to single out Ursaluna. As long as we can keep Rillaboom safe and keep grassy terrain up, Earthquake shouldn't do that much, and their other attack should be Facade. And then either Crunch or Play Rough usually. They do fake out Goodra. We Bitter Blade for a little chip, get some HP back. What do they do with Ursaluna? They go for a Play Rough, and we survive on 1 HP. Yo, Cervantes the GOAT. So let's see. I'm faster than both these Pokemon with Goodra. I think it's worth just going for the Bitter Blade here into Iron Hands. And let's double in with Body Press, see if this double up picks up. Okay, they switch out Iron Hands, so they're switching their Cresselia in. If we can take out with Bitter Blade and redirect the Body Press, that would be amazing. Bitter Blade doesn't pick up the KO, but that's cool. We doubled into it, so at least they lose their Trick Room setter. Bop. Alright. Viscogon doing what it needs to do. Tanks another Earthquake. Cervantes does go down, but I mean, put in major work. Respect to you, soldier. And we have Rillaboom to come back in and get off another fake out. And look at that, perfect timing for the grassy terrain again. This team just sits here. So we invalidate Earthquake again. I want to fake out the Iron Hand because they have fake out. And I'd like to go for another Shelter now. Get myself up to +6. I feel like at +6, even if they KO Rillaboom here, they can't break through Goodra anymore. And having Shell Armor just, it secures these endgames. You know, I don't even got to worry about crits. Boom, I get myself bulky. I know they only have physical attackers left. They protect Ursaluna here. Great, so we don't even lose Rillaboom. Perfect play for us. Boom. That last Shelter. Home sweet home, baby. +6. Good luck breaking through this. Okay, so they haven't used their Terra yet. I want to take out Iron Hands, but I'm worried about them going for Terra Fire or Terra Grass Iron Hands, so I don't think that I would hammer that slot. I think I'll go into the Ursaluna and then just body press Iron Hands. And if they do Terra Ursaluna here, we are at least still getting off great damage with a Wood Hammer. Let's see what they got for this endgame. Goodra is sitting there looking high. Sheltered as hell. Okay, who's their Terra option? Ursaluna. It's just Terra normal, that's cool. Even Terra boosted facades shouldn't be doing anything to +6. Visco gone. Here's a body press. It doesn't KO. And Wood Hammer does about 65%. They Drain Punch for a little chip. That's cool. What attack do they go for? Facade. Into Rillaboom, it looks like. So we do lose Rillaboom there, but I mean, great job, Rillaboom. Okay, so we still have at least 2, maybe 3 turns of grassy terrain left. 3, I think. And I've seen Protect on Ursaluna. I believe this is an Assault Vest Iron Hands with a Fake Out Volt Switch Drain Punch. Probably an electric attack, so I think it's pretty safe to just go for a body press into Iron Hands. And then take out Ursaluna next turn. Earthquake is the only attack they have to hit Goodra hard, and they definitely don't want an Earthquake next to Iron Hands, so. Yep, body press takes out Iron Hands, easy peasy. And they go for a Facade. Terra boosted, Guts boosted, 140 base attack, does nothing. That's what you like to see. Goodra the GOAT. Get that HP back. Get healthy. The peace of mind. Let's just go for another body press and call it a day. Bye. Thanks for coming out. Ursaluna and Iron Hands, 2 of the strongest Trick Room attackers in the game. Goodra comes in and does what it needs to do. Gets the job done. GG PJ. Thank you for letting me demonstrate greatness. So that's going to be all. We will catch you on the next one. Peace.